This is a picture of Dawn Brancheau. On February 24th, 2010, Dawn became the third victim of the 6-ton killer whale, COMM, at SeaWorld in Orlando, Florida. According to Tim Zimmerman, co-writer of the critically acclaimed documentary Blackfish, and author of the article The Killer in the Pool in 2010, Dawn knew she wanted to be a trainer at 9 years old. Dawn fulfilled her dream and eventually became one of Orlando's top SeaWorld trainers, even as she approached 40 years of age. She was strong, smart, and adored the animals she worked with. On that fateful afternoon in February, Dawn performed the normal routine in the Dine with Shamu show, wearing a beautiful black and white wetsuit to match her partner, COMM. At the end of the show, she fed him a bit of herring, splashed around with him, and then went to lay next to him by the side of the tank. In this relationship session, as it is so called, Dawn would speak and touch the orca, laughing and smiling in complete trust and faith. This is when COMM apparently took Dawn's ponytail into his mouth and pulled her into the tank. Dawn fought hard and broke free a couple of times, but she was no match. When they finally pried her free, she was completely lifeless, and paramedics were unable to bring her back. To COMM, it must have been a game, but Dawn must have been his toy. According to the Whale and Dolphin Conservation Organization last accessed in 2015, there are 56 orcas held in captivity around the world right now, with SeaWorld owning almost half of this list alone. Since 1961, there have been at least 150 orcas captured from the wild. Shockingly, as of today, 127 of them are now dead. These deaths may not seem so strange when we understand the conditions the orcas live in. Like stated in an article on SeaWorld of Hurt, a PETA website dedicated to educating the public about the captive animals in SeaWorld, wild orcas can swim on average 100 miles each day, but are unable to do so in the tanks they are confined in, which to them is roughly the size of a bathtub when compared to the immensity of the ocean. My group members and I have thoroughly investigated this topic for many weeks. Some of us have even been to the park and seen the effects of captivity on the animals at SeaWorld firsthand. Together, we'd like to share what we've learned and seen with you. We hope by the end of this presentation to convince you that SeaWorld needs to be shut down to the public once and for all. We will explore the subject by answering 3 questions. Why does SeaWorld need to be shut down? What can we do to get SeaWorld shut down? And how will SeaWorld shutting down affect the world? I would like to introduce our next speaker, Alshanae Graham, who will answer our first question by illustrating the 3 major threats SeaWorld harbors. First, to the captive marine animals, secondly, to humans, and lastly, to the environment. Thank you, Mary, for reintroducing me for the conclusion of this presentation. Let us look back to those questions we set out to answer. 1. Why does SeaWorld need to be shut down? SeaWorld poses 3 major threats to the captive marine animals, to the trainers and visitors, and to the environment. Secondly, what can be done to get SeaWorld shut down? This was answered in 3 steps. 1. Visiting online websites and watching documentaries. 2. Boycotting and forcing SeaWorld to stop their breeding program. And 3. To have SeaWorld give back to nature by using their resources to save animals instead of using them. Lastly, how will shutting SeaWorld affect the world? The environment would be cleaner with less debris and animal waste produced by SeaWorld. The orcas, dolphins, and other captive marine animals would be free again away from abuse. And trainers and visitors would no longer be in harm's way. Call your senators, sign the countless petitions online, follow on social media, share, and talk about this issue to as many as you can. Those voiceless, beautiful animals that we have grown so fond of will continue to live in captivity and abuse until we rise up to speak for them. Let's finally leave these misunderstood animals in peace and stop any more horrendous attacks, if anything, in memory of Dawn Brancheau, who had her life taken away from her by the creature she so dearly loved. Thank you.